Hello everybody, JohnControl back here again with another video, and today is Tuesday night, and as always, I'm here with another Flash review. I'm going to be reviewing The Flash, episode 14, titled Fallout. So if you've not seen tonight's episode, please go check out the episode, then come back so we can talk shit, because this review may contain spoilers. So, anyways, let's get right down to it. Overall, this episode takes place basically 2 seconds after the events of last week's episode, where Ronnie Raymond / Firestorm exploded in a big nuclear, bomb type smoky thing. I don't know. It was pretty epic, to say the least. And then we were hinted at the fact that General Eiling would end up coming back to be the main episode's villain, which he is in this episode. He is the main villain. Basically, Firestorm has separated officially. They're Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein again, but they're still mentally at the hip still, so they can sense each other's, basic needs and other kind of desires and, fear and all that kind of stuff. They're still connected at some kind of wavelength, but overall they're not capable of controlling their power, and General Eiling basically has come back to Central City to hopefully take in both parts of Firestorm, to hopefully use the power of the Firestorm to obviously evolve, the U.S. Army and whatnot. The general. The general, obviously, whenever there's a metahuman that he can use to his advantage, he's going to try and use it. So that's basic as General Eiling is. But overall, on top of this, we get some good, interesting plot points to the Flashpoint paradox. Yes, as we all know, Flashpoint is inevitably some type of story arc that we will be entering in somewhere in this series. I don't know if it's going to be the finale, but I don't know. Based off the teaser for next week's episode, we might be getting something interesting towards something like that. But you never know. I mean, it's really hard to say, because Barry Allen has officially discovered that time travel is possible, and that at some point in time, he moves so fast that he travels through time, and of course is at the night where his mother passed away and was murdered. So basically, he knows that it's inevitable, and it's also his destiny, to lose to the Reverse Flash and always fail to save his mother. So that's kind of like the overall gist of what we're coming on in there. But at the end of the episode, spoilers of course, after, going at it with, Joe and discussing it with him, and also discussing it with Harrison Wells, and of course getting some info on time travel in and of itself by Martin Stein, he comes to the conclusion that now that he has all the information he needs, he's going to try to use the Speed Force to time travel, obviously, to go back to the night where his mother was killed by the Reverse Flash, or the Man in Yellow, as they call him, and save his mother officially. He vows to one day save his mother. And that was a pretty epic moment, to say the least. I mean, personally, we already knew that this series was going to enter this territory, but when is it going to actually happen? That's one of the big questions I want to ask, because, I mean, Flashpoint is a huge moment where if Barry's successful in saving his mom, which I'm sure he's going to try and be, this means that there will be no Flash. He will obviously not end up becoming the person he is today. So obviously, time will have a ripple effect where everything will be changed. The Arrowverse will be changed. The Flashverse will be changed. Everything's going to be changed. So what's going to happen in that timeline? I want to know. In the comment section below, let me know what you personally think, because Barry vows to save his mom, and if he's successful, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be, then we're going to enter the paradox, where everything changes in time. Oliver's not the Arrow. Deathstroke never became Deathstroke, or what have you. Caitlin Snow, maybe she's Killer Frost in this. I don't know. I doubt that. There's just the ripple effect. We don't know what's going to happen. There's so many things. There's so many possibilities that have yet to be answered that you just don't know what's going to happen. Especially based off the teaser we've got for next week's episode, we just have no clue on what's going to happen. Because unlike the Flashpoint paradox, there's a lot of things that DCW is incapable of doing, so I wonder how they're going to mix and match some characters. I'm pretty sure they can do it successfully, but I don't know, the questions are just going crazy. I mean, God, we're entering Flashpoint paradox territory. I mean, this is epic stuff right here. And in the comment section below, let me know what you personally think. I mean, do you think Barry will be successful at saving his mother? And if he is, what type of ripple effects will happen? I mean, obviously he won't be the Flash, and multiple things will change, but what are those changes? Let me know what you personally think will happen. I personally think that Oliver won't be the Arrow, and if he is the Arrow, he won't have Team Arrow. Like you know, fucking Roy, Diggle, Felicity, they probably won't be a part of the team, so I think there's just multiple changes that could happen that I hope they really get into, which will most likely be Season 2, but you never know. The finale has yet to be written, so I have no clue what's going to happen. But overall, that was pretty epic. We're entering the arc of the Paradox, so I can't wait to see this shit go down. But overall, on top of this, Martin Stein and Ronnie Raymond discovered that they're still stuck to the hip by their brain waves, so basically they still have the possibility of merging into one. And over the course of the episode, General Eiling is, of course, trying to stop them, try to use the power to his advantage. Team Flash and Harrison Wells are trying to help out the team as it is, and try to, overall get General Eiling to fuck off so, they can stay safe. But that doesn't really happen because, we already know who General Eiling's all about. He's gonna stop at nothing to basically use Firestorm, so it's pretty inevitable that something dark would happen, and it kind of does to a certain extent. General Eiling isn't really successful at keeping both Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein, but I think one of the greatest parts about this is that they discover that they need to work together and need to become Firestorm to save themselves, which is so epic. I mean, I don't want to sit here and sound too much like a fanboy, but it was so sweet. All those epic sequences. I mean, the second that they're trapped, like Star Wars style, and they just need to work together and become one and become the Firestorm, and they successfully merge, and they have this really cool Iron Man, Tony Stark, Jarvis kind of thing going on, where Martin Stein is the mind, and Ronnie's, of course, the body, and they become Firestorm, and they successfully take out General Eiling's team. It was so badass. I'm sorry. I can't stop, sounding like a fanboy, but it's so hard because this episode was just a fanboy's dream. I mean, that sequence where Firestorm is flying in the air and Flash is running right beside him at the same time. Oh, it was a piece of art. It looked like a comic book. It looked like a comic book panel. That's how badass it was. It was so awesome and badass to see that. But over the course of this episode, we also get a good subplot to that. Of course, back in Iris's Lois Lane story arc, as I like to call it, basically working for Central Pictures or Picture and Central News or whatever the hell they call it. Essentially, her boss or partner in crime, whatever the hell, her reporting partner comes to the fact that something happened in Star Labs. There's a lot of shenanigans going in Star Labs, and Harrison Wells is basically the cause of everything that's been going down in Star Labs. So he puts it into Iris's head that they need to start reporting and investigating what's going on in Star Labs, hopefully to, become famous or whatever, because I don't know what reporters do. They're fucking trying to report the news and report what's going down in Star Labs, because we already know, shit's going down in Star Labs. We have the Flash, you got freaking, Team Flash, you got, the Firestorm thing, so, you got Team Arrow coming in now and then, so there's a whole bunch of nonsense and shenanigans going down in Star Labs. So Iris is basically on the front of trying to discover the truth behind Star Labs, the truth behind Ronnie Raymond / Firestorm, and the truth behind Harrison Wells. So there's a whole bunch of nonsense going on there, and I really don't know where that plot line is going to go, but my guess is, and this is just my speculation, that the only thing that's good that could come out of this is that, for one, Iris is not going to stop trying to investigate what's going down in Star Labs. And if she gets close enough, the only possibility that I see happening is that, for one, she will discover that the Flash is in Star Labs. And possibly, speculating of course, she will discover the fact that Flash is in fact Barry Allen. They're one and the same. So of course, there's a whole bunch of other question marks and possibilities that go into that. I mean, there's just a whole bunch of possibilities that can go towards that kind of story arc. So I personally really am interested on what happens on the Iris front, but that's pretty much just my speculation. I just think that the only thing that's going to happen out of this is that, for one, obviously there's a lot of sketchiness going in Star Labs, but secondly, and most importantly, the Flash is in Star Labs, and Barry's the Flash. So we already know that their relationship has to go somewhere. It's inevitable. And it's just getting closer and closer to that fact. I'm just saying, I don't know if this is going to happen by the end of the season, but we already know that Season 2 has to enter the Flashpoint story arc. So I just think there's just a whole bunch of craziness that's just ahead of us. But overall, this episode was amazing. The Firestorm moments were so kick-ass. Obviously, Ronnie Raymond and Martin Stein discovered the fact that with General Eiling being out there and them not really knowing how to control the Firestorm Matrix or whatever the hell you want to call it, they are deciding to join forces and hopefully try to discover the truth behind Firestorm so they can hopefully either A, control it, or hopefully just go back to normal and live their normal lives separately. So that's pretty much how they're going to go at it. So Firestorm is gone, and I'm pretty sure they're going to come back. I mean, like, Firestorm is inevitably going to be a mainstay into the CW DC comic book series, so it's only inevitable that we will see more Firestorm in future episodes. But for right now, they're pretty much on hiatus. But anyways, on the front, this episode was badass. I loved it. I loved it even more than last week's episode. And last week's episode was a pretty good, badass episode. So overall, I give this a full 9 out of 10. It was so kick-ass. The Firestorm Flash moments were so good. I'm just saying, spoilers, that one moment where Firestorm is flying in the air and Flash is running right beside him it was like a panel out of the comics. It was so badass. The Barry discovering time travel is possible and that he vows to save his mother was pretty badass. Everything was just really good. I love the Caitlin Snow, Ronnie Raymond moments. There weren't really that many big things I hated about this episode. Overall, it was just a solid, good episode. It had the action, the effects, the storytelling, the great moments to move this series on for future episodes and future story arcs. I will admit that the Iris thing was really kind of unnecessary. It just felt really boring and bland, but I guess this is just their way on making it a future topic episode where she finds out that the Flash is in Star Labs, or possibly that Barry is the Flash. So I guess that's where they're going on from there. But anyways, that was not really something I was completely into, but it was interesting nonetheless. And also, I wasn't really into that one scene where Caitlin and Cisco are discussing what happened right after Firestorm leaves. Like, it's a very nitpicky part, but I just didn't like that scene. It just was like, you're discussing what just happened. It's like, he was there. He knows, like, she was explaining it as goofy as she usually explains things, but it just came off so stupid. It was like, you just know he was there and he knows the full story, right? That's kind of unnecessary, dialogue, so I don't know why you had to say it. But anyways, that was just another nitpicky thing. Another nitpicky thing I didn't like about this episode was the fact that Harrison Wells basically backstabs Martin Stein and lets General Eiling capture him. I felt that was just a very stupid scene, but once again, it's just a nitpicky thing. Overall, this episode was really solid. I mean, everything that I can pick out is just very small and just unnecessary. So, yeah, this episode is a 9 out of 10. Anyways, moving off of that to the post-title sequence. Man, it was a doozy. It was so badass. And of course, you know what this means. Based off the prior title sequences. Gorilla Grodd is back. Yes, folks. And we get our first official look at Harrison Wells in the Reverse Flash costume. I think that was pretty badass. Basically, General Eiling is back in his office, his private quarters, if you will, and Reverse Flash comes in, swoops him off his feet, takes him to the sewers where Gorilla Grodd is, based off the, the graffiti on the walls saying Grodd multiple times, and Reverse Flash reveals himself to be Harrison Wells to General Eiling, and that we have this huge what the fuck moment where General Eiling's like, "What? You're a metahuman?" and all that nonsense. And the big reveal of Gorilla Grodd, and he has powers, people. Yes, finally, we're getting some comic book badassery. It's just a good moment to be a DC fan and a Gorilla Grodd fan. I mean, at first I thought they were just gonna make him like a crazy ape, and then I thought they were gonna go like some kind of Planet of the Apes style where he can talk. It's kind of like the mixture of both. First off, he's a gigantic ape of biblical proportions. There's no denying that. And on top of that, he has his telekinesis powers. He can talk into people's heads. How is that not killing anybody's soul right now? I'm just saying, it's the end of the world. The apes have powers. Shit's going down at Planet of the Apes as we speak. But it's the kicker, of course, because the Reverse Flash / Harrison Wells is working with Gorilla Grodd. So, what kind of future, kind of thing are they going to try and hash out here? Of course, they're best friends. They're little buddies. But what can you do with Reverse Flash and Gorilla Grodd? I really don't know, but it's just epic to know that Gorilla Grodd is a part of the Flash universe. He's a part of the series, and he has all his general aspects of the comic book version of him. And basically, at the end of the episode, he grabs General Eiling and just rips him apart. Of course, we don't see it. Maybe General Eiling is still alive, but I'm pretty sure he killed his ass. I'm just saying. The way it looked, he just grabbed his ass, took him down to the sewers, and just jacked his ass. It was fucking amazing. I'm just saying. Apes with powers. Shit's going down, people. Anyways, 9 out of 10. This episode was amazing. In the comments section below, let me know what you personally think is going to happen next week. Based off the teaser, Harrison Wells may reveal himself to be the Reverse Flash, the Man in Yellow, or something like that. I really don't know. It's a real what-if moment. Maybe it's just 20 seconds of screen time. I don't know. And we also, based off the teaser, we get a good review on how basically how Wells was capable of kicking his own ass in the freaking mid-season finale. A lot of people have been stating that there are actually 2 Reverse Flashes in this universe, and that still could be possible, but based off the teaser, it looks like Harrison Wells is capable of multiplying himself, kinda, through the Speed Force. So, he's fast enough to be at 2 places at once, technically, so it's, I don't know. The questions keep coming up. I just cannot wait to see next week's episode. But overall, in the comment section below, let me know what you personally think about that. Also, let me know what you think is going to happen with Firestorm. Will he return? What will happen when he returns? What other people will he be bringing back? Will he be able to fully control the Firestorm ability? Anyways, that was just interesting in and of itself. Also, let me know what you personally think is going to happen with Gorilla Grodd. When is he coming back? When is he going to be revealing himself to Central City and using his telekinetic powers, his psychotic powers, his gorilla strength? What do you think happened to General Eiling? Do you think he's dead officially? And also, what do you think is going to happen with the whole Flashpoint Paradox thing? Barry vows to save his mother one day in the future / past. But what do you think this one moment will have as an effect with the rest of reality? Will there be an Arrowverse? Will there be a Flashverse? And will there be a Batman? I'm just saying. If Paradox changes anything, wouldn't it be cool if, like, Arrowverse was completely warped, and instead of Oliver being Arrow, he's Batman or something? Or, screw, everything, and just, like, the only hero that exists is Batman. I know this is just my way of saying CW needs to have a Batman, but I'm just saying, come on, why can't it happen? I mean, he was a huge part of Flashpoint. Why can't he just be a part of... he doesn't even have to be Bruce Wayne Batman. He could be any type of Batman. I'm just really want a Batman on TV. But I guess that's where Titans comes in. Nevertheless, Flashpoint Paradox will change everything. And when is that going to happen? Is it going to happen in the finale? Is it going to happen in Season 2? I have no clue. Let me know what you personally think. Overall, it was a solid episode. It was an epic, awesome episode, and I cannot wait for next week's episode. Let me know what you personally think. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. And also go back to my channel to check out prior episodes of The Flash that I have reviewed. Also prior episodes of Arrow that I reviewed. Also check out my breakdown / review of the Ray Palmer Atom suit. And I will be back tomorrow night with a Arrow review, which hopefully will be the big reveal and return of Slade Wilson, which is going to kick ass. And of course, I'll be back next week to review more episodes of The Flash. So, hope you guys stay tuned to that. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.